Yo, what up? What's going on, YouTube? What's good with y'all, man? I had to get on here early today, man. I gotta stop getting on here so late all the time. I gotta switch it up. You see what I'm saying? Sorry for coming on later than I scheduled or posted, but I was just chopping up with the homie, man. We was chopping up on some real game. So I'm gonna talk about this Kamala Harris stuff for a little while, man. Her and comparing her and Rachel Dolezal there. But the homie brought up a good point, man. Has Kamala Harris actually out her mouth actually said that she was black? That's what I want to know. Has she actually said she was black? You know what I'm saying? That's a good question. That's the question that I have to excuse me. That I have to really you know what I'm saying, attribute, you know what I mean, ask myself. Has she really said she was black? Or is it just the media? Is 80% the media, right? And it is 80% of the media. So we're gonna go on right here. So let me send out some links real quick, man. Send out some links real quick. Some links and grits, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Why is it? So how's your afternoon going, man? How's everybody's, you know what I'm saying, Sunday afternoon going? I'm chilling. About to do the show, about to make some beats later. Gotta get on my stuff. All right, so let's see. So send out this little Liz link real quick, you know what I mean? This little Lizzle. You going Izzle for shizzle? All right, man. Got the links over here, baby. Links and grits, you know what I'm saying? Dropping them links and grits. What up? So I gave y'all the link, so jump on if you want or if you can. So look, man, we going in, man. So we comparing Rachel Dole's to Kamala Harris, right? So if anybody can be black, we gotta treat everybody with the same energy. You see what I'm saying? Okay, cool, PJ. We gotta treat everybody with the same energy. If everybody could just be so-called black, and even that's a misnomer term anyway. But if anybody could be us from America, people that look like us, then Rachel Dolezal should be able to do it. So let me see, right? We everybody called her crazy. The white community went in on this lady. They went in on this lady. They made her look crazy. Rachel Dolezal made her look wild, right? So let's see what Rachel. Okay, so both of them went to a HBCU, right? Rachel Dolezal went to a HBCU, and so did Kamala Harris, right? Because everybody's jumping in joy, talking about Kamala Harris being an AKA and going to Howard, right? Let's see Rachel Dolezal, right? Let's see her. We're gonna compare what these two have done for the black community, and then we're gonna talk about something else, other way more important things, right? All right, so Dole. So let's do this first, and I'm gonna play this first. All right, so I'm about to say my damn number. All right, so fair use 1976 under Section 107 Copyright Act. This gives me allowance to report this video for commentary and educational purposes. So we're gonna see what's going on.
Chapter that happened Monday.
And we asked the local chapter their thoughts on this matter. Here's Todd Hicks.
The controversy surrounding Rachel Dolezal has a lot of people talking here in Milwaukee, including the local NAACP. But leaders here say it's distracting from the real issue. This is the woman at the center of a cultural firestorm in this country over the last few days.
Feel like a little bit under siege by all of this?
Oh, for sure.
Rachel Dolezal is the former NAACP leader accused of dishonesty about her race. Here she is talking exclusively with NBC's Savannah Guthrie.
Have you ever lied about your race?
No.
Has she?
Never have I been asked.
Who cares what color she is? Who cares how she did it?
The head of Wisconsin's NAACP.
See, okay, all right. That's my whole point. That's my point, right? I'm pushing the same narrative. That's the whole point, man. Why is it not the same thing, man? You know what I'm saying? All right, so let me see. That's a good point that she's bringing out. All right, perfect. It is a good point she just brought up. Let's go.
NAACP says the questions are distracting from the real issue, which is ongoing racial discrimination in this country. And Lily Wilson says she has a message for the people stirring the controversy.
This is just a smokescreen. They want to take the brand and jump up and down. Get a life.
Dolezal's parents are white, and they say she is Caucasian, but Dolezal is sticking with her answer.
But didn't what's name? Didn't her father say something similar? Kamala Harris' father say something similar? Kamala Harris' father never said, "Oh, she's half black and I'm black." He never said that, right? And he slammed her for trying to like mock her Jamaican heritage by saying that she used to smoke weed. I'm just saying. So it sounds like it's kind of similar to how these ladies' parents is trying to like come out or expose her, right? So I don't know. So I don't know, y'all. Keep sending this mother. Right? I don't know, man. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think that is actually going on over here, man? You know what I'm saying? You can't pick and choose.
Do you understand why many people would think, given your parents and your heritage, that is at best a misleading answer?
I can understand that, but again, up to this point, I know who raised me. I haven't had a DNA test.
Wilson says the woman has done a great deal for the organization and that her race doesn't matter.
We have all races that are part of the NAACP. It's what's in your heart.
Wilson tells me that woman's race is a moot point.
But see, look, I'm not gonna say that lets you know, but the NAACP is not a black organization. That is not a black organization, but just to let y'all know that. You know. Sorry to say that that's not a black organization. You know, so I don't know. I have no idea about that one, y'all. I can't back up that one. All right. I can't co-sign it. I'm not going to co-sign it. You know what I'm saying? But the NAACP, and then that's the thing too. Back in the day, the '60s, all that civil rights, Martin Luther King stuff. The Jews used us to get what they wanted. That's why they were doing that, right? Because then the so-called Europeans, weren't they? Even though it's the same thing, but wasn't the other Europeans oppressing them, so-called, quote unquote? So, yeah. Dark Boss is in the house. Dark Boss is in the house. What's going on, man? Dark Boss, salute. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Salute, Dark Boss. Man, song. That song like Donkey Kong, Dark Boss. Like Donkey Kong, man. So what's going on, man? Just out here chilling. Yeah, so the NAACP was, that is, you know what? After this, we'll go into a little bit of this. Oh, no. NAACP, they never done that before. It's kind of like a secret society, too, in a way.
Point because the organization helps more than just African Americans. In Milwaukee, Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4.
Rachel Dolezal, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good, nice to see you too.
You've had a busy week. All the headlines, top trending item on Twitter. You resigned your post at the NAACP, and you've started a discussion on race and what it means in this country. Did this come as a surprise to you, or did you always expect the lid would be blown off your story at some point?
The timing of it was a shock. I mean, wow. The timing was completely unexpected. As to the second question, I did
what's up?
feel that at some point I would need to address the complexity of my identity.
We can't talk about the big picture that you have created without talking about the small picture first.
Right.
Let me just ask you the question in simple terms again, because you've sent mixed signals over the years. Are you an African-American woman?
I identify as Black.
You identify as Black. Let me put a picture up of you in your early 20s, though. Mm-hmm. And when you see this picture, is this an African-American woman, or is that a Caucasian woman?
That's not in my early 20s, but...
That's a little younger, I guess. Yeah.
I think I was 16 in that picture.
Is she a Caucasian woman or an African-American woman?
I would say that visibly she would be identified as white by people who see her.
But at the time, were you identifying yourself as African-American?
In that picture, during that time, no.
Your parents were asked this question this week, and they didn't have any trouble answering it. Here's what they said. She's clearly our birth daughter, and we're clearly Caucasian. That's just a fact. Your father went on to say she's a very talented woman doing what she believes in. Why can't she do that as a Caucasian?
We get caught up in these terms. What is a Caucasian? That's like, isn't Kamala? I mean, that's what Kamala Harris is, a Caucasian. Those Indian people, those people from India, that is the Caucasian people. We don't know that, huh? Just like the word slave, that's the Slavic people, right? Slovenian, right? People like by the Ukraine region, right? Right? So man, they got us, man. We don't be knowing, man. So African American, what does that mean? Didn't Jesse Jackson make up that term, African American? Yes, he did. Jesse Jackson made that term up, right? Along with the Rainbow Coalition. Let's go. I'm going to show you real quick. According to the Oxford Reference, African American is a term that refers to a U.S. citizen or resident whose ancestors can be traced back to Africa. Black versus African American. The term Black is more of an inclusive than African American. Black recognizes that term has evolved and reflect shared identity and culture beyond skin color. The term Black is also capitalized in honor the shared sense of history, identified and community amongst Black people, identified as Black, including those in the African diaspora. What the? Y'all know that Black is an adjective. How could you be an adjective? How could somebody be an adjective? See, they keep putting us and giving us these terms, man. They do. But this lady, look, but see, what is Black though, dude? Black is a misnomer term. Black is a fake status, so is white. Right? If you were the opposite of Black, Shaq, peace. You were the opposite of white. You know what I'm saying? So if you white and that's the fake status term, guess what? Black is the opposite of that. And guess what? When you're the opposite, you usually consider the enemy of that, right? You consider. So let's keep going. I just had to break that down.
Asian woman.
She's saying she blacker quicker than. She says she blacker quicker than Kamala Harris. Interesting. Right? Let's go.
Which is what she is. How do you answer that question?
Well, first of all, I I really don't see why they're in such a rush to whitewash some of the work that I have done and who I am and how I've identified. And this goes back to a very early age with my self-identification.
She said the work she's done. No, this lady, I ain't gonna lie, this lady has put in work in the community. And whatever her community, I think it was Atlanta, she has helped the community a lot. She might have even done more than Kamala Harris. Let's just be honest. Let's just keep it funky. I'm not even gonna lie. Because Kamala Harris has done a lot to lock us up. That's what she's done a lot to do. Kamala Harris has done a good job at that. Great job at locking us up. Let's go.
With the Black experience as a very young child.
When did it start?
I would say about 5 years old.
You began identifying yourself as African American?
I was drawing self-portraits with the brown crayon instead of the peach crayon and the black, black curly hair. And, that was how I was portraying myself.
So it started way back then, Rachel. When did you start, and I'll use the word, you can correct me if you don't like it. When did you start deceiving people and telling them you...
So what's the difference between this and a transgender? Why is the transgender not deceiving people? Why is a transgender person not deemed with any kind of mental instability or something like that? Can anybody answer me that question? Right? If they really done something, we wouldn't be talking about the same thing we've talked about in the 60s. Ooh. Yeah, you're talking about NAACP. They haven't done anything. They don't do shit. But I'm just saying, her little communities, she's helped Black, you know what I mean? Her, like, herself. That's what I'm saying. But see, the thing is, it's funny because I just look at it as a secret society. That's what I look at it as. Secret society.
Who were Black, when you knew their questions were
that kind of acts like poses as a open organization. There we go.
In a different direction. When someone said to you back then, are you Black or white? And you'd say, I'm Black. You didn't say, I identify as Black. You'd say, I'm Black. When did you start deceiving people?
Well, I do take exception to that because it's a little more complex than me identifying as
But see, you identify as Black, and Black has no standing by law. So you go to court. That's why you get railroaded so many times, and you look like that. Well, besides the fact that it's amateur, maritime amateur law. Besides that, you're not gonna get the short. You're gonna get the short end of the stick. You're not gonna get justice if you look like me faster than somebody else. That's just how it goes. Because Black has no standing by law. There's no nationality with that. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Black or answering a question of, are you Black or white? I was actually identified when I was doing human rights work in North Idaho as first transracial. And then when some of the opposition to some of the human rights work I was doing came forward and started, the next newspaper article identified me as being a biracial woman. And then the next article, when there were actually burglaries, nooses, etc., was this is happening to a Black woman. And I never corrected.
Well, why didn't you correct it? You knew it wasn't true.
Well, because it's more complex than, being true or false in that particular instance.
But the cynics and the skeptics will say you didn't correct those reports.
Look at how the white media, look at how they see, they don't like race traders. They don't like race traders. White people, we accept race traders, though, right? We accept people that could just say anybody could just come into the, you know what I mean, and just be us or just look like us. Black has no standing by law, but just y'all know what I mean. Just come into the neighborhood culture, low-key / and that's corny. They let Rick Rubin and all these other Jews, they let them buy hip hop. Black people don't own no damn hip hop. They're talking about Russell Simmons and all these. They just let them take that right on over. Or did they own hip hop from the start? That's the question, right? Was it just a big psyop? You gotta ask questions, man. Because does it really even seem like a lot of things are organic anymore, or does it just seem like things are just made up for a reason, right? See what I'm saying?
Because it helped you meet your goals. Is that fair?
I don't necessarily think that's fair. I think over not just at that time, but before then too, I have had to answer those who have seen me, and because I'm a Black hairstylist, have have styled my hair in many different ways, have been identified as mixed, light-skinned, Black, etc. And I've had to answer a lot of questions throughout my life.
You've changed your appearance. Your complexion appears darker than it did in the photos of you as a young lady. Have you done something to darken your complexion?
Wow.
I certainly don't stay out of the sun.
Look. Check this out. They don't do that. So why is, when it comes down to transgender, they don't. So you can get hate crime, you can get all types of stuff happen to you if you question the transgenders or if you question their motives. But so it's okay to question a white lady that's considering herself Black. I just think that's interesting. And they all know that Black has no standing by law and doesn't mean anything. But still, they want to make us play these games and go around in circles. But that's crazy and interesting how this lady right here, Rachel Dolezal, right? You know what I'm saying? How the white media will grill them because they don't like that. This man is mad. He's in his feelings because this is a white woman right here. You know what I'm saying? Man, yeah, she got exposed though. So I just think it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Just my 4 cents? How you doing? I just think it's interesting how this whole thing works. But this white reporter is pissed. He is mad. They be on code. They do not like when people, you know what I'm saying, they portray as being so-called white or Caucasian. They don't like that. They don't like race traitor. They don't like that. But it's okay for you to be like that if you're Black. It's okay for you to try to be something you're not, or be a gender you're not, or that's okay. But as long as it doesn't affect the heterosexual white male, they're gonna go in on that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Betty Boop, what's going on? Not one Black or white. They are not white. The Caucasian is red. The color red will show up in the Caucasian skin. True Black show up in the colored people's skin. Ooh, that's true. Caucasians are more like the Indian, like Kamala Harris, like Indian, Hindu, like those people like that. That's Caucasian. Oh, that's what that. Not, you know what I mean? So just like Aryan, Aryan is not no white, blonde hair, blue eyed. Not the original Aryan. The original Aryan also looks like Kamala Harris. Ooh, interesting. Right? Them Aryans, they darker people. Aryans ain't no white, blonde hair, blue eye. See, these Europeans take everything. They take people's identity and they flip it and change it, bounce a rock, roller skate, and they make their own history. That's why it's called his story. That's his story. Not my story, your story, his story. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? So we going in. It's 1 o'clock, man. 1 o'clock out here on the west. We going in. Damn it. All right, let's keep going. We ain't playing. We ain't stopping. Betty Boop, how you doing though? We ain't stopping. We going. People was mad at this lady too. A lot of people was pissed, and you had people, Black women, she culture appropriation. But y'all can't say culture appropriation when you trying to have your hair look like her. She got dreads. A lot of y'all Black women would never put no dreads in your hair. Y'all, that's too Afrocentric. Well, I can't say Afrocentric, but that's just, I can't say too Black. That's just too culturalized for you. That's just too culturalized. I'm gonna use that word. A lot of y'all Black women don't really want nothing to do with your culture because you're trying to look like the European woman with the blonde wigs and weaves, and you're trying to have the blonde. I don't know what blonde comes in any kind of Afrocentric. Yeah, there's blonde, natural blonde people that are African, but we're not African. No, huh? How you from America and you African? That's another story. That's another topic, man. You think the Africans consider themselves American just because we're so-called descendants of them? No. Does that make sense what I just said? Africans don't consider themselves American because we're related distantly, right? So why do we consider ourselves African because we're related distantly? Oh, damn, that was a good point. Huh? Nobody can answer that one. Let's go. Right, Shannon? You know?
And I also don't, as some of the critics have said, put on blackface as a performance.
And they was calling her crazy. They said she had mental issues and she's crazy and this and that. But how come the trans are not like, how come other people that identify or say that they want to be an 11-year-old body, a grown man saying he could be identified as an 11-year-old girl, why is that not seen as mental health issues? Why is that not, why do they don't get demonized and vilified by the white mainstream, lamestream, heterosexual male media? Why is that? You know what I'm saying? I'm curious. See, everybody picks and chooses, man, and the media is the main propagandist site. So I'm gonna go to another topic after this. I'm gonna play her contributions, right? I want to play you what she's done to help Black people, right where she's at, and I want to see what Kamala Harris has done to help Black people. Absolutely nothing. But you know what I'm saying? So both of them went to a HBCU. One of them identifies as Black. The other, I never heard the other one. I never heard Kamala Harris say she was Black ever in my life. But everybody else seems to be saying that. So that's the media involved is at stake here. But the media vilified this lady for saying she's Black, but then it is not the same energy. But they're pushing that Kamala's Black. I just think it's very interesting. Maybe because she's not a politician, Rachel Dolezal. I don't know.
Yeah, let me address.
Or a Democratic politician. I don't know.
That because
this dude is mad. He's pissed. You know, his hair ain't the only thing he's losing. He's losing his temper right now, man. Right?
Because some people have said that the way you've changed your opinion is akin to putting on blackface. And Jonathan Capehart wrote in the Washington Post, blackface remains highly racist, no matter how down with the cause a white person is. Do you understand what he means by that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you agree with it?
I have a huge issue with blackface. This is not some free birth of a nation mockery blackface performance. This is on a very real, connected level. How I've actually had to go there with the experience, not just a visible representation, but with the experience. And the point at which that really solidified was when I got full custody of Isaiah, and he said, "You're my real mom," and he's in high school, and for that to be something that is plausible, I can, certainly can't be seen as white and be Isaiah's mom.
Couple of quick points. There are reports that at one time in particular, you looked at a friend of yours, a guy named Albert Wilkinson, and you told friends of yours that he was your father. He is an African-American man who is clearly not your father. Was that done to enhance your...
Whoa, this guy, he's bringing her all the smoke, huh? He ain't playing. They be on code, dude. They be on code way more than us. That's my thing. They be on code. We don't be on code, man. These people, they like, you got to stop. You got to identify as Caucasian or European. You got to keep doing that. Making us look crazy. Right? They don't like that, man. They don't like that one bit.
Resume as an African-American woman, or was there another reason for that?
There's another reason. Yeah, he actually approached me in North Idaho, and we just we connected on a very intimate level as family.
But why point out an African-American man and say that is my father when you know that your father is a Caucasian man?
Albert Wilkerson is my dad, and any man can be a father. Not every man can be a dad.
Your lawsuit against Howard University in 2002, where you claim you were discriminated against because you were a pregnant white woman. Do you understand how people could hear that and say, here's another example. She says she identified herself as being African.
See, why would you do that? Why would you go 1 minute, I'm Black, and then the next minute you're saying, oh man, they discriminate against me because I'm... She kind of reminds me of a Candace Owens kind of in a way. But see, the difference between her and Candace Owens, she got a Black kid. She's with a Black man, this lady, right? Is with a Black man. Candace Owens ain't. See, Candace Owens does nothing to help the black community or black people at all. She has no solutions or nothing to help black people. Right? Has done nothing. Has not no boots on the ground, no grassroots, nothing. At least this lady has. That doesn't look good. I'm not defending this lady. I'm not saying what she did wasn't burnt out. I'm not saying she's not a fraud, because she clearly is. But the whole point is in this video is, look at the difference. Look at how the perception is everything. Look at how everybody's perceiving this lady as crazy and this and that. But then, you got people literally wanting to, curse you out and call you bitches and everything over Kamala Harris. You saying that she's not black. I just think it's crazy. Right? Let's go, man.
African American or black from a young age. But here's a case where she identified herself as a white woman because it worked for her under the circumstances.
The reasons for my full tuition scholarship being removed and my teaching position as well, my TA position, were that other people needed opportunities, and you probably have white relatives and that can afford to help you with your tuition. And I thought that was an injustice.
Would you make the same choices given all that's happened and given the fallout from it, but also the positive side of the discussion that has come out of it? Would you make the same choices you've made, Rachel?
I would.
And what do you want to come out of it? What discussion do you want to prompt?
Well, as much as this discussion has somewhat been at my expense recently in a very sort of viciously inhumane way, come out of the woodwork, and the discussion is really about what it is to be human, and I hope that really can drive at the core of definitions of race, ethnicity, culture, self-determination, personal agency, and ultimately empowerment.
But when you say you would make the same choices, wouldn't you go back and perhaps be a little more transparent about certain things in your life, or correct some of the things that were said about you that you knew to be incorrect?
There are probably a couple interviews that I would do a little differently if circumstances, in retrospect, I knew what I know now. But
y'all share this out. Like, hit the mics.
Overall, my life has been one of survival, and the decisions that I have made along the way, including my identification, have been to survive and to, carry forward in my journey and life continuum.
You resigned your position at the NAACP out in Spokane. Do you feel you could have been as effective? And by the way, you should get a lot of credit. A lot of people feel you breathe new life into that chapter. Could you have been as successful? Could you have had as big an impact had you been a Caucasian woman as opposed to being identified as an African-American woman?
I don't know. I guess I haven't had the opportunity to experience that in those shoes. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And finally, your two sons.
Damn, she's using the white privilege card. Damn, when it benefits her agenda. Exactly. It sounds like Kamala Harris a little bit. The one that, but see, the media was doing that too. She was calling her Indian, and it was calling her Asian, and it do and this and that. The only thing they didn't call her was Italian in this mother. But so if the media is at fault too.
Zay and Franklin are here in the studio.
They are.
If I were to ask them if you're a black woman or a Caucasian woman, how do you think they'd answer?
Well, I actually was talking to one of my sons yesterday, and he said, "Mom, racially, you're human, and culturally, you're black." And, so, I mean, we've had these conversations over the years. I do know that they support the way that I identify, and they support me. Ultimately, we have each other's back. We're the three musketeers.
Rachel Dolezal.
But see, the thing is, though, if everybody does come from us, though, let's not get that messed up. Everybody does come from us. how it went. Let me see. All right, man.
Before her name went viral and became a hashtag for anyone claiming a race or culture they were not born into, Rachel Dolezal says she was living her life as an active member of the Black community. Many within her community saw Rachel as a respected civil rights activist. She was president of the local NAACP chapter and an instructor of Africana Studies at Eastern Washington University with a bachelor's in arts and a master's in fine art from Howard University. Then, in 2015, this childhood photo of a blonde-haired white Rachel was a piece of her unraveling when it was revealed she had constructed a life around Black culture. Rachel was fired from her job, forced off community boards. Social media erupted, hundreds of thousands of tweets mocking her, while others were disgusted by her perceived role as a culture vulture. Today, almost 6 years later, Rachel says she is still being punished, unable to find a job in the field she'd been thriving in for years and struggling to provide for her 3 sons. Though she admitted she did not correct some assumptions that she was Black, she questions the pound of flesh she's still required to pay for her actions. Rachel Dolezal joins us now from her home in Tucson, Arizona. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. You know, part of the reason I wanted you on the show is really the punishment of this. You've had the documentary. I first encountered you briefly when I was at the Today Show and you were there being interviewed. And I want to talk a little bit later about your life now and how it's been affected. But you see these headlines and there's, since your story, as I said at the beginning of the show, it seems like there's one a month. And it's not just Black, white.
But I think so. Her and Kamala went to the same university,
right? It's Latino, it's Asian, all these storylines. How do you process it, especially when your name is attached to some of these stories out of nowhere? Hashtag Rachel Dolezal.
Right. Well, it is really tough, you know, to relive that every day and every week, as you said. Whatever the case, if somebody's name comes up attached to what people feel is a problematic identity, then I'm hashtagged and there are memes, you know, Kamala Dolezal, all these kind of things that have been created that come my way and I'm tagged in. And what I...
Did you hear that? Kamala, they was already comparing them two, right? Why did they say Kamala's up? Because Kamala is the same thing with Kamala. Y'all see why they say Kamala Dolezal, right? Same thing. Because Kamala was cosplaying. You see what I'm saying? Why would they compare the two? She just said Kamala Dolezal. I'm telling you, man, they know Kamala's a fraud, man. You know, I mean, I would say she's doing the same thing with her little privilege card. You know what I'm saying? She playing, you know, but this lady is doing the most.
Really wish is that people could see me, you know, more for who I am than the what, you know, a mother, an activist, an artist. That's really the who I am. And when it comes to race and identity, I've always identified racially as human, but have found more of a home in Black culture, in the Black community. And that hasn't changed. I mean, I'm still the same person I was in May of 2015. I'm still doing the work. I'm still pressing forward, but it has been really tough for sure. You know, having not had a job for 6 years, I've had to create my own job and find ways to provide for my children through braiding hair, through grant writing to bring funds into marginalized communities and Black-owned businesses and nonprofits, through painting, through doing pep talks on Cameo.
Let's stop this. Did you just hear her say that she was trying to bring funds to Black businesses? Has Kamala Harris done any of that? I'm glad that's okay. That's the last. That's all I wanted to get play out of that one. Did y'all hear that? She was bringing funds to black businesses. That's a lot. Sorry. If that's not helping black economics, I don't know what is, man. So Rachel Dolezal one, and then what's the name? 0. Kamala Harris 0. Right? Let's go. All right, so that's all I needed to get out of that one. So, and I don't really need to play them for Kamala because we already know she hasn't done no activism work like that. Kamala hasn't written no policies to help anybody in any of these communities. She hasn't did no grant writing like she just said. She hasn't tried to build any funds or make any funds for black businesses in California. California looks crazy. Black people don't own anything out here, but couple of barbershops here and there, maybe a couple of weed spots. That's it. From what I'm seeing, you do got black entrepreneurship out here. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like it should be. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So let me go into Kamala real quick, man. Let's see. Well, you know what? Now, let me go into this right quick. Let's go into this right here. Let's go into this video. See, I'm not a Trump guy, right?
What type of racism is this?
Because you help black people don't mean you're not racist. I'm not. You know, all the Masonic brotherhoods and all of them are all tied because we all know Jesse Messi is a Mason, and I think Trump could be Mason. Definitely is under some kind of secret society, but I think it's more of like the Jesuits. They all connected. Let's go. So I don't like when people, he can't be racist because he helped a black person out. That doesn't mean, well, if a black person help a white person out, does that mean that black person necessarily like white people? I don't know. We get caught up in too much. I don't. That's not my argument. My argument is with playing stuff like this is these are the same leaders. So that's not my argument. Is Trump's not racist because that's not my thing with this. My thing with playing this video is showing you that these are the same people that are going out against Trump right now. These are the same people talking against him, saying he's racist. And Al Sharpton too. There's pictures of him and Al Sharpton together. But Dan, that's very, very hypocritical of you. And if I was you, I would just just be quiet about the whole thing because if he helped you before, why are you going against him now? But this is all be scripted and staged, man. Just for entertainment, man.
Who has?
Because they know black people love to be entertained.
Well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness and his commitment, but his success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he is a serious person who is an effective builder of building with a builder of people. Last year, he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
to serve the underserved, to serve underserved communities.
Well, it is an honor to be here, and I was with Jesse last year, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a little different. Jesse started off by saying most of the wealth in this country is in the hands of a few. And I thought to myself, is that a bad thing? What's wrong with that, Jesse? But he did have an expression last year, and I was just telling Roger, he had an expression last year, the wall on wall must fall. And you haven't used it today, and I'm very disappointed in this, Jesse, because I thought it was a great expression. And I heard the expression about 14 times, and then he came to me at the end of the session, and he said, listen,
So honestly, was this all staged with Trump and the whole Republic, get the country, drain the swamp? Was this all staged with this dude? Or did he get caught up? Was he trying to do it? And the deep state was like, oh no, because I showed y'all last week, the administration, that's a lot of times, that's who's really running the show. You see what I'm saying? The people behind the administration, that's who really call the shot. And these people got handlers too, But let's listen to a little more of this. And I got a Kamala video, then I got another one. We're gonna talk about Gavin Newsom.
I want some office space in your building on Wall Street because the wall on wall will fall. And I said, it's okay, Jesse, I'll make a good deal with you. I'll get you some space. You'll pay about $40 a foot. And he said, no, I don't want to pay 40. I said, how about 30? No. It was the cheapest deal I ever made in the history of 40 Wall Street. Is that right? He got it for nothing. He's a very tough negotiator. We know that, right? Nah, he's a terrific guy. We love him, and I'm here for him. And the snow came, and I said, gee, nobody's going to show up, and look at this place. It's packed. Well, I just say a few words. I mean, Wall Street and New York City and this whole region is doing unbelievably well. I'm building a job on the West Side, which is the largest job ever approved by the New York City Planning Commission. You see it going up along the West Side Highway. It's almost 10 million square feet. It's 18 buildings, and it's really going to be something. I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are Black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do.
I'm sorry. I'm not a Trump guy or nothing. I'm not. But what's going on? Why is this the second? Why do I constantly been hearing, even before he was president, about him? I mean, I've heard some bullshit about him too in the past, doing some saying and doing some racist shit too. I ain't gonna lie, I'd already play that. I'd expose that too. But we got to talk about. I mean, this dude. That's something, man. You make contracts and make it to where Black construction workers and something they just do. That's real. You know what I'm saying? Because my pops, he was a foreman. He was in construction in New York. So that's that helps, man. That helped a lot of Black people, man, black fathers, man, and families. You see what I'm saying? And just too, man. He I don't know, man, but just like with that platinum plan, I wish he would have implemented that and did something about it when he was in office. I think that would have been a better look on Donald Trump. But I mean, I don't see him writing policies on doing us how he did us dirty or anything like that, and taking money from us. So I can't really talk too bad about him or stuff like that. I don't see him making policies locking Black people up. I never hear him say tough or harsh on crime or let's lock these Black people up or anything like that when he was in office either. So I've seen Joe Biden do it, from the 80s to the 90s, Joe Biden's done it.
Great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is Black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here. I look forward to some questions. And then I don't know how we're ever going to leave this building today, because if you look outside, it is terrible. But we'll figure a way. There's always a way. And thank you, Jesse, and congratulations.
That's deep, though, man. So then Donald Trump didn't help Black people out. God, man, what is Kamala? I mean, it's weird how sometimes these Europeans, man, they'll do more for our people than our people. It's really weird. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play this clip right here. And I think Jesse Jackson, a lot of these people get caught up in these secret societies, man. I think they get into the secret societies just so they can be successful and be movers and shakers, to be honest with you, and have connections. And I don't mean the black community so-called is gonna have connections or have, you know what I'm saying? So it's just selfish, it's me type thing, right?
For black people. Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal.
Check this out. It's crazy how somebody talked about Jim Crow, discrimination and segregation and discrimination, and we had it and this and that when it's still, everything is still segregated, right? But then two, how are you going to talk about discrimination when you just discriminated against black people in this sentence? In one sentence, you talk about discrimination. The next one, you talk about saying you're not going to do nothing for black people. Isn't that not discrimination or what? I don't know.
It still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family.
What happened to that LIFT Act? Have you heard her talk about the LIFT Act? She's still in office. I never heard none. Since she got in office as the vice president, I haven't heard her talk about no LIFT Act. Since she's been campaigning as the president, I haven't talked about her talking about no damn LIFT Act. It's funny. She get the policy. She make this new policy about economic policy, and then a week before that, they saying she wants to make somebody from BlackRock. She want to put them in her cabinet, and she's getting economic ideas from BlackRock. So guess whose policy that is? BlackRock's policy, right? That's why the policy came around the same time, because they wrote her the damn policy. I don't understand why, but this is the thing I just said right now. She's talking about discrimination and Jim Crow, and she's discriminating against you in this sentence right here, in this speech or whatever, in this interview. So if you say that's just like you going and working for a place, you apply with the place, and they're thinking about hiring you on the interview, and they tell you we're not going to do nothing for black people. Is that not discrimination? You go to a motherfucker, what's that called? One of those a job fair. And they say on the bullhorn, we're not going to do nothing for black people. Y'all mean to tell me you can group up with them people and form a class action lawsuit against that place? So what is the difference between what she's saying? That's discrimination, man. That's just straight up discrimination. That's basically telling you that's a racist statement. If she was, you know what I'm saying, if she had the blonde hair and blue eyes, then we would be calling her racist. That we got to stop picking and choosing, man. When people say they're not going to do that for you, believe them. That's just like a female rejecting you. A man, he tried to get at a female, can I get your number, take you out? She reject you. Is she not telling you the real? Isn't that the time to say, so she's rejecting our people and we still want to vote for it, bro? Like, we're crazy, man. We crazy. But the mainstream media has a lot to do with it. But us just being emotional got a lot to do with it. Ashley, salute. Trump added $8 trillion toward the national debt, more than any other president in history. His proposed tax cut for the wealthiest Americans and corporations will add a minimum of $4 trillion more. Salute Ashley and Heather. She has been in office for 3 years. Where hasn't she carried and done anything? Why hasn't she carried anything seriously? She hasn't. My bad. Good looking out for coming out. Salute y'all, and if y'all can subscribe to this channel, I appreciate it. You know, exactly. I got some women in here. That's good. I want to hear some women tell the truth about this lady right here.
A tax credit, which will benefit.
It ain't even a Trump. Let's just take Trump out the equation. I'm pretty sure if Trump wasn't in office the same ladies, y'all, same 3 ladies that are on my show right now, you guys still would not be voting for her. I know you wouldn't, because you have a. That's a good point. Would people still be going and voting for this lady and pushing for this lady if Trump was in office? I think a lot of people that still are against her wouldn't be, right? Because we know it ain't even about Trump. Because a lot of that's what the people do. You see, that's what a lot of people do. Oh, well, I'd go for her. People on Facebook constantly bombarding me with this. Well, I'd rather see Trump than her. I mean, her than Trump. Well, I'd rather see. I think Trump wouldn't be good. Name me a reason why Trump wouldn't be good. They can't name you a reason. You know what I'm saying? They can't name you a reason why she's better than him. That's why I'm confused. My thing is, whoever's getting us tantrums at this point, whoever can actually get this economy get back on again, because we're in a recession, damn near depression. Just because the mainstream media is telling you something different, ain't telling you that. Just because the stock market may seem like it's doing all right, that don't mean nothing. Trust me. If Big Lots is closing down, that's we got a problem. If we got 4 Lowe's stores in California closing. Lowe's, you know how big Lowe's is? If not Home Depot. Lowe's is the second to Home Depot. Now we're talking billions of dollars here. We're talking billions of dollars. We're not, you know what I'm saying? They're closing down 4 stores in California alone. 4 stores. I guess I don't know if y'all think that doesn't mean nothing, but that means a lot. See, COVID got rid of the small businesses. Now it's time to get rid of the big corporations, right? The other big corporations that they right? Because I'm telling you, we're in the new world order. They're turning everything. Everything is going to change, man. Even the currency, everything is changing. The banks, they just said, the Supreme Court made a ruling saying that the state banks do not have to go by federal regulation. That is a good thing. But what are these banks going to do? But I think, and it's also been seen too that more banks are going to start back in gold again. They're going to start back in Bitcoin. So let's
uplift
interesting.
60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people.
Damn, was she saying that about the Asians though? How would that look if she said that about Asians? That would look. How would that look racist? Can anybody answer me? How would that look? If she said I ain't gonna do nothing for Asian people, that would look crazy. If she said, imagine if she said she's not gonna do nothing for the Creed people. Ooh, if she said she's not gonna do nothing for the Creed people, oh, dude, everything, her whole campaign would have got shut down right there, man. Right then and there, they would have stopped her dead in her tracks. You say you're not going to do nothing for the Creed people, it's over with. See, these are groups that are very powerful. Does that make sense what I'm saying? These are some powerful groups we're talking about here. These are people that have influence. And the people that are paying these politicians too.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people.
Damn, that's crazy. Crazy. Nasty work, man. Nasty work, man. Hold up. You know, you're talking about, so I already showed you how her policy the other day didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, one more time. Let me play one more time. She talking about tax credits for people why only with a newborn though? So if you have a 4-year-old, does that count? Why can't I get that $6,000 that tax credit with the newborn? I mean, without the newborn. let's just hear this real quick, and I'm gonna go on to something else. Just real quick. She got that from Black Rock, dude. They gave her this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, let me see. I need something short that's gonna break down. I don't want to watch the whole. I'm not trying to watch this whole thing. Let's see this one. Let's see. I ain't trying to watch this whole thing, man. What's the point? You know what I mean?
Turning now to the race for the White House, a big day
How
for
they hype
Vice
this up.
President Kamala Harris.
Shit. Oh my God.
His campaign, she's announcing her economic plans if elected. It comes a day after former President Donald Trump held a news conference in Bedminster, New Jersey. In the swing state of North Carolina today, Vice President Harris.
No Megan Thee Stallion.
Is unveiling a bold economic agenda. The campaign saying her plan will include $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homebuyers, a call to build 3 million new housing units, and
where 3 new housing units? Where's she's gonna build these 3 new housing units? Where at? I'm confused. That shit is hella broad and ambiguous, dude. Like, damn. Hella broad and ambiguous.
and a first of its kind ban on corporate price gouging on groceries. But former President Trump quick to slam the proposal.
Kamala is reportedly proposing communist price controls. She wants price controls. And if they worked, I'd go along with it too, but they don't work.
Trump outlining his spending plans this week, saying he wants to slash regulations and eliminate taxes on tips and seniors' Social Security benefits. During a long press conference in Bedminster yesterday, Trump was asked about his personal attacks against Harris.
I think I'm entitled to personal attacks. I don't have a lot of respect for her. I don't have a lot of respect for her intelligence.
Tell me this cat don't be making you laugh, though, man.
She actually called me weird. He's weird.
The focus on the economy comes as Harris and President Biden ride a wave of positive economic news with inflation falling below 3%.
Okay, so look. So you mean to tell me that inflation has fallen right before the presidency? They be telling us anything, man. Because if inflation is falling, that's a good look on him and Harris, right? So these people, we don't believe the media, dude. I want to see some stats. I want to see where's the statistics.
The pair appearing in their first official event together since Biden dropped out of the race.
I have an incredible partner. The progress we've made, she's going to make one hell of a president.
They celebrated a landmark deal to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors on Medicare. And now the stage is set for the Democratic National Convention next week in Chicago. The DNC unveiling these images from inside the United Center. One other interesting tidbit in Harris's economic proposal, a new $6,000 child tax credit for families with children in the first year of life.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul is scheduled to speak at the DNC on Monday.
Why I got to be in the first year of life? Okay, can especially the women on here, what do y'all think about that? So you know what I noticed? They got to give the American people. We'll give the American people something with stipulations. We don't just give you something because you deserve it. You know you need it because you're a fucking taxpayer. Because you're, I ain't gonna say citizen because you're a U.S. American national. Because a citizen is below a national. Let's be clear about that, right? You could have a parent that's born here and a parent that ain't. I would think that makes you a citizen. But if both your parents are from here, you are national. And if you were from here, you were national. Does that make sense? Let's keep going.
Monday in Chicago. Hochul said.
I hope. And see, let me try to get this footage of these. Okay, so they're gonna try to watch. Chicago residents, y'all didn't hear, are gonna try to they're gonna basically bum rush the that's what they said, the Democratic National Convention. Being a Democrat should not be a tradition for y'all. It really shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Just because your family members or whatever, like we act like that shit. See, we don't want to create wealth for each other. We don't want to pass down inheritance and wealth or nothing like that and leave legacy, but we want to pass down being a Democrat. That's retarded. So let me see. So it's gonna be tomorrow, right? So let me see. So look what these Palestinians did. See, these Palestinians might be controlled opposition because I think they're all getting paid by Israelis too. A lot of these Cree people are paying these people. It's all controlled opposition. Do not get hyped up into these Palestinian protesters. They're all controlled opposition. All right. Let me see. Let me get into. See, there was some black. Let me see. I didn't type it in right. All right. See what it is. These Palestinians are going to overshadow what these black people are going to do, and with the black so-called black people's gripes and complaints, because they didn't move the migrants in there, man. They didn't took over so much in Chicago, man. Damn, I can't find it. I can't find it. Let me play this real quick for y'all. I'll play this for you.
For you guys. Yeah, the main message is that the Democrats who are going to be in that building are complicit in this war against the Palestinian people.
Police Superintendent Larry Snelling says his officers received special training focused on de-escalation and respecting constitutional rights, but warns violent scenes reminiscent of Chicago's 1968 Democratic Convention will not be tolerated.
Do we want to have fights in the streets with people? Absolutely not. But I want to make one thing clear. I want to make this perfectly clear. We need to know the difference.
So they're trying to have it. They're trying to make this like the 68. They're just basically trying to make this like the Democratic National Convention of 68. History repeats itself, but you know why it repeats itself? It repeats itself because people repeat it. Right? People do the same things in the same events to repeat it, but it just be different people at different times. That's all it is. We got to get it, man. We got to understand this, man.
Between rioting and protesting.
A city that says it's prepared for any situation. Shaquille Brewster, NBC News, Chicago.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
I forgot one of these dudes channels. Hello, John. I was watching it was on, man. I can't find it, man. What do these secret societies? What do these secret societies? What do they serve? Who do they serve? All right, let me play this real quick. Let me see what Trump wants to do with this. Let me see Trump's economic plan real quick, and I'm gonna go on something else. You know what? Wait, you know what? Hold on. Have y'all seen this one? Can I play this one?
Never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for sales murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged. That's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell people my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. You know, it's the closest thing to dying.
Jamal, I'm going to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truth We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the kind of with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. Now, this isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, and a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
Police were keeping files on you, and your brothers, and other people who were living in Sunnydale from a very young age.
They had already had me labeled because I'm in this community as a potential gang member, potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wake up to the fact that, you know, things are set up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes.
It happened to you.
Exactly.
It's proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African-American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she was gonna understand where we come from, you know, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities. This is Hunter's Point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York, and also that's when my friend Sel Kuka got killed.
More than a year goes by and no one's been arrested in the case. You hadn't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, you know, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust, law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. What's up, boy? I have a history of being around in the community, but that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. I'm like, oh man, I'll be out within 72 hours. They're going to figure this out. They're going to clear this up.
And then when you found out what the evidence was that they supposedly had you on, there wasn't much there. Can you describe what it was?
They had a woman saying that she seen me kill Sel. The second witness that they had really wasn't a witness at all. She said anything that the police officers wanted her to say, and they said that her recollection of the events was extremely credible. So that's what ultimately got the arrest warrant.
The District Attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris, appeared in the courtroom during your trial twice.
Yeah, the two times that Kamala Harris showed up to my trial was when I got convicted, and also when they laid down the sentencing.
When you saw her on the day that the verdict was handed down, did you take that as a bad sign?
It felt to me that she was well aware about my case, and she was there to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction. When I put in my appeal, the people that's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom. And now it's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years. That 6.5 years that I spent in prison. But instead of me coming home feeling like
Real cheap tuition. My bad. I was talking all this time on mute. But if I was him, $13 million, I would invest in all types of things. I would start in San Francisco, because San Francisco is very overpriced, and that's a good real estate market right now if you have money, right? Because everything is really high in San Francisco. You make a lot of money. I would probably buy some apartments or something like that, some townhomes, some homes or something like that in San Francisco. I would make a lot of money, right? And then, is it tripping? And then I would go to Oakland if I was him. I would Oakland is disenfranchised, is poor. I would start trade centers. I would start job placement centers. I would really, if I was him. But at the same time, man, I would even probably start a nonprofit of something with maybe a legal aid place or something like that too. Because a lot of us don't know our rights, man. We got to start, being the adult. Like, if we're a part of this American economy, we got to study it, right?
Like I was a victim. I wanted to prove that I'm a survivor, and I will not let my story go unheard. You know, I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for an apology, but some acknowledgement from her that she could have messed up would be, of course, that'd be huge. You could have made some mistakes. You could have missed some things. For me, it was a big miss. You know, I had life in prison. I've met people in prison that was wrongfully convicted. I want my story to be out to provoke reform ultimately. Beyond that, I want to be able to be who I want to be. I'm an actor. You know, I'm a musician. I'm a father. I'm more than this person that was framed. I'm more than this person that was wrongfully convicted.
The live show. They did? It says what?
Let's meet the legendary archer Jin-Ho Kim, who brought the spotlight to South Korea, where archery was once little known. Archery has a history that extends back over 1,000 years. In its early days, it was used as a tool for hunting or for combat. But it wasn't until the 1970s it began gaining recognition as a global sport.
제가 태어난 1961년 한국은 전쟁이 끝난 지 8년.
Hold up. So they're messing with the string. Hold up. They're messing with the string. That's good. Hold up. Hold up. What the fuck?